Welcome to the news represented. My name is Jessie Kalambo. The headlines. Bulldozer Imbwili reported to police. Bulldozer sympathizes with hungry and poverty-stricken UPND cadres. Lusaka scammer sentenced to 2 years once proceeds of his act returned. UPND alliance partner justifies New Dawn's empty road to employment creation. Soccer funds a request to Hona Bali. And now the news in detail. The Lusaka High Court has ordered the state to admit former President Edgar Lungu's barber, Shabi Chilekwa, to the hospital for medical examination. This comes in light of alleged torture by the state while in police custody. It is alleged that Chilekwa shot and killed a UPND supporter, Lawrence Banda, during the Kauma by-election. He has been in detention for the past 1 week, having been picked by police last Friday. Patriotic Front member Bowman Lusambo and Shimba Kambili have been reported to police in Lusaka of an alleged murder of the National Democratic Congress NDC member Albert Kasongo. It is alleged that Kasongo was beaten and died during the Ron constituency campaigns in 2019. And United Party for National Development UPND Lusaka District Information Publicity Secretary Matamola Likwanya, who reported Mr. Lusambo and Mr. Kambili to the police, says Kasongo deserves justice. Mr. Likwanya says Mr. Kambili is a potential witness in the matter, as he is on record accusing Mr. Lusambo of being the murderer in the case. He has a since called on the police to quickly institute investigations in matters so that culprits are brought to book. The UPND District Information and Publicity Secretary said that the case should not be silenced because the deceased left a family behind.
I'm here at the Force Headquarters, where we have written to the Inspector General of Police to look into the murder of the late Mr. Obet Kasongo. We want justice, and we are demanding justice for the late Obet Kasongo, the NDC leader who was killed in political violence in Iran constituency in 2019. It is on a record that Dr. Chimbakambwiri did issue a statement and addressed the nation in a video where he said that the one who had hacked and killed Obet Kasongo was Bowman Lusambo. This matter is a matter of public interest. As concerned citizens, we demand answers on the killing of the late NDC leader.
So like we have said in the past, matters should not die naturally without being resolved. The police, they are very much aware, and our judicial system is very much at their disposal. So matters should not be procrastinated. We are therefore requesting the Zambia police and other investigative wings to expedite in these issues. I don't know how the updates. I wish there could be continuous updates and briefing so that we can be updated as a general on how the police are proceeding, and we have not received that as consistently as we should. So we have a concern that we are not updated as often as they should update us on how matters are proceeding before them.
It would be wise to conclude matters in a most good way. So I want to believe that justice delayed.
And when contacted for comment, Mr. Lusambo sympathized with the petitioners, claiming their action is as a result of frustration, anger, and lack of employment. He has since offered the petitioners employment at his Masaiti farm. Mr. Lusambo accuses President Hakainde of being deceptive following failure to fulfill the electoral pledge of job creation among the youth population.
And I can answer boys. Those boys, if they want actually, I have a farm. in Ndola, Masai area. I know they are suffering from unemployment fever. So let them come with applications. I am employing farm workers in Masai area instead of wasting their useful strength in useless things. Let them come and start doing constructive things. So for me, the person I can answer to is that I one of those chaps. That is not my level. Those are supporting my workers at the farm. I know that the president promised them more jobs, but there are no jobs for them. So instead of concentrating on constructive things, they are wasting time and they are useful opportunity which they have.
The compound is appealing to government and other well-wishers for financial assistance to enable her look after her two physically challenged children. 40-year-old widowed Diana Nakazwe is unable to look after the children as she is also a tuberculosis patient who cannot keep up with casual work. Speaking in an interview with Muvi TV News, efforts to engage other well-wishers have taken images of her children has yielded now. She adds that she is left without a choice but use the Muvi TV platform to appeal to government and other well-wishers to come to the aid of her family.
At a glance, this can be said to be a life of difficulties. This is a reality for 40-year-old widow Diana Nakazwe of Lusaka's Mandevu compound, who is struggling to look after her two children living with disabilities. Being a tuberculosis patient, Ms. Nakazwe says getting by is unbearable and is calling on government and other well-wishers to come to her aid with finances to help her take care of the children.
Na papa tanaenda ngakonde akonse bale nanguma office bale mona kwa tifeni kwa tingi mafi umwa akwata nkakirira ko fyama waya dalo nde ipusha fyanga na ipusha nati tushe tetofishe kwa fingi mumwana uruchero tabali yapo ali nangu chimo tulenda fyama kasoko tufumine kufuma kwa Mandevu bisafika kule tulifena makasaika yeka bali nofa ninga chita mwandingi na ishire iyo na ishire rwala TB baisanze ndala nefi akufuala napa kulala ponstwale lala pa chipepa abati tamwa kalipire bwangu kaita mkweti abalo na tyawonga napola nakula bomba fya fino tuma piso ginga mupere fuba shire tufunyana mungani twalera ala muntembo mutwale muntembo olo baisa tu senda kuba mwefi bashukura bati senmu mulaikala ko panganda efo nomba twambiri nokwikala ko panganda nomba shire kwanisha abana bali babiri amalise butishire kwanisha olona kakayene kakonkaba panu.
She says efforts to engage well-wishers in the past have yielded nothing, as they have only gone away with images of her children. Tired with a life of begging on the street that almost claimed the life of her son, Ms. Nakazwe is seeking a lasting solution.
Mumpasenga numbuya mumpango so chief chinakira ko wafirishu government kuti kwena batata bansunga tapali yoko ningaya kuchira ndero mbalomba mu musebo umwana ala mukulomba mu musebo nameno yali kulikilamo bantu limbi akafuira mu musebo umwana kulomba nakota kwa babwino kwa kutila wayole lomba mu musebo awe ndero mba kwa kutila ninga sungira kwa abana na papata kwa lakwa panondi na alirwala na TB na chitenga no mutishira alika no kupushira na bosi shira kuisha
Muvi TV News, I'm Afias Kaptula in Lusaka.
A 21-year-old resident of Lusaka's Mutendera compound has been slapped with a 2-year sentence for scamming unsuspected members of the general public. Pokawewe, who was arrested for multiple cyber-related financial crimes and impersonating people on various social media platforms through advertising fake products online, has been sentenced to 24 months years imprisonment with hard labor. In this matter, Kawewe was charged with obtaining money by false pretense, and when the matter came up before Magistrate Changa Chitabo Friday morning, the convict pleaded for leniency from the court he is the only child of his parents. Kawewe claimed he did not know that what he was doing would land him in trouble. He further asked the court the money amounting to 9,000 kwacha in his bag, currently in the custody of the police, on the day of his arrest should be given to his family.
After spending and enjoying other people's hard-earned money, 21-year-old Paul Kawewe of Lusaka's Mtendere area has gotten himself 2 years of imprisonment with hard labor. Paul Kawewe was among those who were arrested for scamming people online and was later taken to court, where he pleaded guilty to 1 count of obtaining money by false pretenses and 1 count of personation. In this matter, it was alleged in count 1 that Paul Kawewe, on 11th July 2021 in Lusaka, falsely represented himself as a businessman and owner of a company called Chanda Brand, an online business operating on Facebook, selling shoes and clothes when in fact not. And in the second count, it was alleged that in November 2021 in Lusaka, Kawewe did obtain 3,500 kwacha cash from Musama Mwaba by pretending that he had an iPhone for sale when in fact not. And when the matter came up before Majesty Changa Chitawo Friday morning, after the facts were read for him, the convict asked for news from the court, stating that he is the only child of his parents and is supposed to go to college, as he didn't know that what he was doing would land him in trouble. Kawewe also informed the court that on the day of his arrest, police confiscated a bag containing money more than 8,000 kwacha and funds, of which he asked that be given to his family. And in passing his judgment, Magistrate Chitabo sentenced Kawewe to 2 years imprisonment with hard labor on each count to run concurrently. Kawewe was nabbed for multiple cyber-related financial crimes, among them impersonating people on various social media platforms through advertising fake products. Margaret Choda, Muvi TV News in Lusaka.
Movement for Democratic Change (MDC), an alliance partner of the UPND, has justified the pace at which the ruling party is taking in creating jobs. The MDC claims that job creation is a massive undertaking that cannot happen in short period, considering that UPND has been in government for less than 6 months. Party Vice President for Political Leonard Hikaumba says the government has an obligation to create employment with or without a social contract in place, and the UPND is laying ground to do so. In the last few days, the country has been taken over by job creation debate following sentiments attributed to UPND Secretary General Batuke Menda that the party did not sign a contract to employ anyone after forming government. Mr. Hikaumba, however, expressed confidence New Dawn administration will soon settle and address the problem of employment creation. He has since advised government to consider previous blueprints of employment creation as they are still applicable but failed due to poor implementation.
Taking into account the fact that the government has only been in office for a period of close to 6 months now, and most of the preliminary work that has been happening is to put in place the government machinery. I mean, appointing people to various positions in order to start the implementation process. Job creation is not something that can be done overnight. It requires putting in place a lot of other things, policies, and sometimes even legislation, and you also have to take into account the issues of capital requirements, because when we are talking about job creation, what we have in mind, like I said, these are decent jobs. These are sustainable jobs. You should not create jobs that are of a temporal nature, because it can help you for that brief moment, but we need sustainable jobs. And to have these sustainable jobs, we need strong institutions. We need to ensure that we deal with the issues of corruption. because they retard progress. We need to ensure that there is national unity, because where that ingredient is lacking, people will not work together. We need also to ensure that the necessary skills are there in various sectors of the economy, and this takes time. Where retraining is required, it has to be done. Now, I think
PND National Youth Chairperson Gilbert Lisoniso says bus and taxi drivers play a key role in sustaining the economy. Mr. Lisoniso said this when he paid a surprise visit to bus stations in Lusaka following numerous reports of harassments by drivers at Mandevu Station and Hero Stadium by suspected PF cadres. He has vowed to engage bus drivers to help control pockets of lawlessness in creating a better Zambia. We'll take a break on that note. See you shortly.
They'll play a high press to force the mistakes.
They'll dominate the aerial ball. They too tall. We'll handle the pressure and smash them on the break.
The number 9 has scored in their last 5 games.
The passing will be quick, decisive, precise. There will be drama in the dying minutes. This match will mean more than 3 points.
They will have the home ground advantage. This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
Betway.
This month of love at Freshview Hotel. Limited tables available for Valentine's, dinner on the boat and beach. Take advantage of this Valentine's package. Reserve your table now. Special discount on accommodation. For reservations, call 0972 012 591 or 0979 975 751. Freshview Hotel, a perfect retreat from the city.
Don't say yes!
She said yes! 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 She said yes!
Shawama! Congrats, bro!
What?
We'll be there.
Last Sunday of next month.
Ew, are you here?
You may give her.
Everyone, say to feel.
One day, I'll give you the world.
Oh, you already have.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. 27-year-old police officer of Lusaka's Chilenje area has appeared before the Lusaka Magistrate Court on one count of threatening violence and one count of malicious damage to property. It is alleged in the first count on 23rd January 2022 in Lusaka. Joshua Mufaya, with intent to cause alarm, did threaten injury to innocent Bwalia by pointing a pistol at him. And in the second count, it is alleged the accused on the same debts in Lusaka willfully and unlawfully did damage one cell phone valued at 1,500 kwacha, the property of Mr. Bwalia. And when the matter came up before Magistrate Emmy Masoja, the accused pleaded not guilty to the charges. The matter has since been adjourned to a later date. Police officers in Malala's Chikankata constituency have abandoned their station due to uninhabitable conditions. The officers unceremoniously left the facility as a result of a leaking roof, broken windows, and compromised ventilation. Area Member of Parliament Jacqueline Sabao expressed sadness at the development. Ms. Sabao has since assured the residents of Malala Ward the new Dawn administration will work on the facility, and Ward Chikankata District Chairperson Devi Apakalea appeals to the Ministry of Home Affairs to consider deploying more officers to the area.
A bad state of Malala Police Post has caused the shift of Malala police officers who are currently working from a one room in an abandoned shelter. This came after District Health Inspector made a recommendation after conducting inspection. The state of the police post has saddened the area lawmaker Jacqueline Sambao. Ms. Sambao has promised that the matter will be addressed at the quickest possible time.
Post in Chikankata constituency. This is our police post, the only police post in Chikankata district. I'm appealing to our government that they should consider giving us a police post, another police post, and more important, in that district police station along Nega Road. We have a challenge at the moment. We don't have a police. We've closed this. This thing is stinking. It's dirty. There are a lot of things happening in this building, and human beings can't be in this place. So, as a government, we have to consider Chikankata people. And we've had challenges as people of Chikankata because of people who steal animals from our community. We don't have where to take these people because this place has been closed.
In Malaya Ward, Councillor Katuo Akapalea is appealing to government to consider deploying more officers as they are understaffed and currently they have no accommodation.
We are at the small room where the policemen are operating from. They shifted from there because of the situation, the condition of that police post. As we have already said, the police post, the cells are stinky. Now they have shifted to here. Now there are problems. We only have 3 staff. We need more staff here. And these staff have no accommodation. If the government can consider to construct staff houses for these officers so that we can have a recognizable police station at Malabo here.
Oguno potwinge pa Malabo police post kujigankata. Muhi bugu hama buyu. Buyu mu buchaniga wano buyu mu buchaniga. That's why ulaboneka idoji lijalidwe. Mu mugato mu guli doti litambiri. Yauti musirigani tagwe kubereka. Kulima mahumba abantu mugato. Kuina toilet, kuina menda, toilet tayigoma ma higaba babereha ma 20 liter kukala. Mulanu nkolo ngweno ba polisi baberegera anze kubaberegera. So twalomba nohumende kuti amutulanganye kuli jeji oguno wani kuli ngombe kuli baba ngombe mbanji 2 kuli defiance mbanji kuli bajitamirandu isiyenise ni kululwana kuli mababa anywa bokoko bantu balalwana balangwa so kuwo kubatola it takes jilatola mazuba manji kuti bamunyamu noguno kujiradura kuti bakakusiye kumazavu kumasera so tulalomba transport oguno kujigankata tujisi place ni mpati basirigani mabusu alamana kumana kutalika kwenda kuzwako kuno kwasika kuna maira kwanga muntu kuzwako kuno kwasika kwa akantu kuzwako kuno kwakusika
Liambela Mutumba, Muvi TV News, Chikankata, Southern Province.
Lusaka-based political analyst Aaron Kapila has called on the Zambian government not to be influenced by the Western world in the formulation or amendments of the country's constitution. Mr. Kapila states that Zambians should learn to govern on their own terms. He notes making a constitution independently can make Zambia a better country, knowing that the law would best suit indigenous citizens of the country. Mr. Kapila warns phasing out the grade 12 qualification requirements for one to contest as member of parliament may undermine the quality of debates in the National Assembly. He adds the country can only come up with better policies if those in charge acquire some level of education and are level-headed. The political analyst has since proposed that parliament comes up with a higher qualification such as college or university certificates for those vying to be legislators, as a grade 12 qualification certificate is not enough.
Ourselves, we are a country definitely depend on our constitution, and we don't need to put input in our constitution because our laws, our culture values are different from Britain. Zambians, we are African country. So we know whenever we come up with something in a constitution, we know the value that we want to get out of it. By a European Union coming up with that, definitely, I think maybe that can work better for them. But for us, the way it is working better for us, and we are even looking forward to say we have perhaps to come up with another restriction so that we can.
The ravaging floods in southern province has not spared pregnant women in the region. A number of pregnant women continue struggling in Gwembe's Munyumbwe area after a number of bridges were swept away due to heavy rains. The development has resulted in most of them opting to deliver at home. Lensha Munyumbwe of Sompani village laments it is currently difficult to cross the streams in accessing medical facilities. Ms. Munyumbwe warns that if the situation remains unattended, cases of complications during and following pregnancy will increase. Meanwhile, Munyumbwe Council Chairperson Colette Ndrovu stresses the need for government immediate intervention before lives are lost.
Mortality in Munyumbwe area of Gwembe district in southern province remains high due to poor road network. Despite the Ministry of Health developing a reproductive health roadmap in effort to reduce maternal mortality, this effort will not benefit the area because the most root cause to this problem is having such roads and bridges.
Ingulayawa mabridge akaho wonse sote jambo tingokhala uyo tutumbuke ina so jambo tukukhaliro kuno byachichaka kwetu kuno chindu cha mayinza chindu chonse mabridge alaunga tomba byokulomba kwakuti mabridge batubikire mano kwabamba mbuli mbwairete kambo mabridge akaona mbaya kitwingia
is among the highest problem, especially during rain season, because
we have enough rain, water just passes on top of the bridge, so it is the whole district bridge here. There are not governments who have been in power for some time, but as new dawn government, as UPND, I'm sure that these challenges the people of Gwembe are facing, it will be a thing of the past.
Pregnant women in Munyumbwe area have no access to nearby health facilities, which force them to cover long distances in order for them to access these facilities.
Ingajindi nitwa jama inza tulapenga maningi. Walo muntaji siko timulongoje nikaulivide. Ulako hakuha musabiriji wina pututini. Nienda fulu tulonga winda tago. Fukete vya nuta na yosa mulonga hata tuzabugi.
Meanwhile, Gwembe District Commissioner Kiriani Jigandula said government is saddened with the continued high maternal death in the district as a result of poor roads, and he has assured people in the area that government is determined to put in place measures that would ensure that no mother loses life.
In the province, it's very shameful. You can talk of Namara, which is a bit far from main road. There's a third road from Choma to Namara, quite okay. And if you talk about Sinazongwe, there's a tarmac road from Batoka to Mamba. Go to Siavonga, same thing. But what's happening about Gwembe? What have we done? Because you know, Gwembe district is the oldest district in the country, not only the province. And I'm sorry that the previous governments were not considering our district. Now, you're coming, I am really happy about it, because we are going to introduce our district to the new Dawn government, which is a recent government, and they act so fast, like what they did some 2 days back, when a helicopter coming from Saka to Gisanga. That means this government is very serious on what it's doing. And apart from that,
Shikabi John reporting for Muvi TV News in Gwembe District, Southern Province.
The annual increasing frequency of rainfalls in the Gwembe District, Southern Province, is proving to be disruption to pupils' attendance at school. The large-scale destruction of infrastructure during the rainy season, such as bridges, has not only affected pupils' attendance, but also that of the performance. Munyumbwe Secondary School head teacher Mwemba Chimama discloses most of the pupils from far-flung areas away from classes every time it rains as the streams are flooded.
Now, that bridge affects our learners here, especially during the rain season. And not only the learners, including teachers. There are some teachers who stay the other side of the stream. So when the stream is full, it means that our learners who are day scholars, the school has a total population of about 520 pupils. Out of the 520 pupils, we have day scholars, a good number of day scholars. Grade 10, we are supposed to have 40, grade 11, 40, grade 12 also 40, and grade 8 and 9 about 20. Now it means that those people who are coming from the other side of the stream are unable to cross the stream coming here to learn. So that one affects their performance. And we also have teachers who are coming from the other side of the stream. So even those teachers, it means that when the stream is full, they are not able to teach our learners. We have a good teachers, about, I think, close to 10. Then we also have these small going children, that is from preschool up to grade 12, who go to basic school. So it means that when the stream is full also, and even when the moment it starts raining, this means that and get them from school. So you can see how their performance is being affected. My wish is that our food bridge should be upgraded. So that I think if it is upgraded, then our learners and teachers will be able to cross, because it's a footbridge. The moment it rains, then it's even dangerous. We have even recorded it takes just that side. So upgrading over that footbridge, I think, is very, very important. The day scholars are not doing very well, because most of the time during the rain season, they don't come because of the same bridge. So the general performance of day scholars is affected with a very big percentage.
Zambia has recorded 457 COVID-19 cases. Out of 3,818 have been discharged. She says that 2,978 cases remain active, with 35 patients in isolation, 15 on oxygen therapy, and 4 in intensive care unit. The minister has further disclosed that 83% of those admitted are unvaccinated.
Trends indicate a general improvement in the national COVID-19 situation, with an average positivity hovering around 10%. However, transmission of the SARS-CoV-2 virus continues in many of our districts. It is for this reason that we maintain our guard to ensure timely detection and response to any case or cluster of cases. The pandemic has been going on in our country for close to 2 years now. Like in many other resource-constrained settings, this prolonged pandemic has stretched our finances. We still continually need resources to respond effectively to the COVID-19 pandemic, while also managing other routine and essential health services. We also note a strain on our human and commodity.
We'll take a break on that note. Still to come is more news items. Stay tuned.
At Children of the Redeemer Academy, our aim is to be leaders in the provision of the highest quality education to our learners for a better generation. We are a co-education boarding secondary school offering an ideal learning environment with the perfect combination of qualified, competent staff and modern infrastructure, equipment and furniture. We are now accepting applications for grades 8 and 10. We are located at 12 miles and just 1.5 kilometers off the Great North Road. Contact the head teacher on 0977 633 909 or the head of admin on 0760 173 890. Children of the Redeemer Academy. Teaching for academic excellence.
Istana ya Afrika ya kubende chalo akamwana kanono nomsepela kuikala chapamo kuribe kumunzi kuribe mutauni kumatero aliyenze afunika.
The Zambia Statistics Agency will this year conduct the census across the country. The census aims to count people in households, rural and urban, hospitals, military, police and correctional facilities. This numbering will extend to hotels, farms, as well as high-density areas with different families sharing a house and those in transitory locations. Every person in the country matters and should be counted because the census will benefit all, from migrants, refugees and street children, homeless people, the young and the old people, as well as persons with disabilities. Everyone counts. This message is brought to you by the Zambia Statistics Agency.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. Save the Environment and People's Agency SEPA has aided Zambia Environmental Management Agency ZEMA and stakeholders to conduct a tour at Lower Zambezi and assess the situation at the site. SEPA Chief Executive Officer Miles Muke notes this will help all stakeholders come up with a solid decision from an informed perspective. Ms. Muke maintains that SEPA does not support mining in the Lower Zambezi as they are a lot of mines in the country that are not beneficial to the locals.
As political economy looks at their own interest, the mileage of the political party, not the interest, the interest of Zambians. So therefore, if they take a tour with all these people, then people can make a solid decision from a well-informed perspective. Save Environment and People Agency does not support the idea of mining in the Lower Zambezi. Why? It's because we have a lot of mines in Zambia, and Zambia started mining over 100 years, but why are we still poor? To make the matters worse, this organization is based in Northwestern Province, where we have 3 giant mining companies. And if you look at Northwestern Province, people live in poverty, and we don't even have a university. We don't have good roads. We don't have good infrastructures. So then why keep on wanting to mine everywhere? Where's more at the Lower Zambezi? Because Lower Zambezi there, the ecology which is there, once we lose it, we will face the calamity. People gathered in Glasgow to talk about such things, that when we are trying to make money, let us make money in a sustainable way. That place is very sensitive. Reason is that there's rivers that distribute water to Zambezi River, and Zambezi River is an international waters. Any pollution to that river, it will affect a lot of lives as it passes in many countries before it reaches Indian Ocean. Therefore, I urge that let ZEMA take this tour. We have to protect our biodiversity. You know that everything that is there supports life. But immediately when we cut a certain part of biodiversity, they just know that many things will die. So please, I think, let us think twice. Where do we need to mine? Why can't we have other green...
Serenja District Town Council Chairperson Stivers Malumba says he has chosen to work and supports the policies of the government of the day as he was elected to serve the people. Mr. Malumba explains his decision is premised on the good policies being implemented by the New Dawn administration. He says that time for politics is over, adding Zambians now want to see development. The PF-sponsored council chairperson was speaking in an interview with Muvi TV News in Serenja District of Central Province.
Thank you. They have to receive the massive love as the people of Serenja.
Zambia Dry Sanitation Country Program has stressed the need for a multi-sectorial approach in achieving sustainable sanitation among communities in the country. Organization Country Project Manager Sari Laurila says achieving proper sanitation in community will require stakeholder participation. Speaking during a workshop on sanitation in Livingstone, Ms. Laurila North Zambia is making positive strides. She adds working with local partners in the implementation of sanitation programs. Her organization is looking forward to work with government through Ministry of Water Development and Sanitation in order to improve hygiene among citizens.
Proper sanitation in Zambia still remains a challenge, and for this, Zambia Dry Sanitation Country Program in partnership with Global Dry Toilets of Finland has continued to engage government and other stakeholders best possible ways of improving hygiene in communities. Provincial water and sanitation meeting from provinces namely Central, Copperbelt, Eastern, Luapula, Lusaka, Muchinga and Northern Province attending a sanitation development workshop to discuss challenges each province faces sanitation-wise. Sari Lorila is Country Project Manager for Zambia Dry Sanitation Country Program, explains the importance of the meeting.
They have realized the importance of sanitation in many countries. As we know, there's lots of struggles with sanitation, of course with water as well, but sanitation has been one of the issues which has really left behind, so to say. As we all know, in many areas they have pit latrines, and now you see the storm Anna flushed many areas, and you know what kind of health hazards that those pit latrines and open defecation in those areas will cause. So we really want to promote this idea of dry toilets.
Implemented a number of sanitation activities, specifically in Mwanza district and in Serenje district. That's why we're implementing most of the sanitation activities, ranging from awareness raising, the construction of dry toilets, and water points. And we have been doing a lot of infrastructure development in terms of sanitation. We have had a lot of interaction with schools, and we also have been upgrading water systems for schools. We have also been doing gardens. Most of the things which have been talked about are actually what we do as well.
She says 2030 vision of attaining sustainable sanitation is fast approaching, hence government and NGOs working together is key.
Well, we still have a lot of work to do. There's still quite a lot of people who are practicing open defecation, so that's the one step we want to go to away from open defecation. But of course then we also want to make sure that what we are doing is sustainable. So that's the reason we are promoting this ecological dry sanitation instead of pit latrines.
The main emphasis of the sanitation meeting by Zambia Dry Sanitation Country Program is to chart ways on how to end open defecation and improved access to water among communities in different provinces. Prudence Mutelo reporting for Muvi TV News in Livingstone.
Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security Permanent Secretary Joseph Akafumba has called on construction companies to consider giving jobs to reformed youths from Katombora Reformatory School. Speaking during the fourth graduation ceremony of 77 juveniles who graduated in different courses and commissioning of an ablution block, Mr. Akafumba says a second chance has been given to them, hence they need support from society as they integrate back into communities. And the Zambia Correctional Service Commissioner General Frederick Chulukutu has urged juveniles at the reformatory school to be ambassadors of the crime-free Zambia.
7 juveniles have graduated from Katombora Reformatory in various trade courses. Officiating at the graduation ceremony and also commission of an ablution block, Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security Permanent Secretary Joseph Akafumba has this call to construction companies.
As a result, I urge all employers in construction industry, both at individual level, partnership and at companies, to consider giving jobs to these youths because they are well equipped to deliver according to the expectation of an employer, for they have been trained and mentored by competent lecturers. Be responsible and refrain from any activities that may lead you to reoffend.
Honor and indeed a great privilege to stand before this morning on an important occasion where we are witnessing the fourth graduation ceremony of the lads and community members, and indeed the handover of the ablution block constructed by the European Union through UP Zambia and Built It International. And society that entrusted these children into our hands is that please embrace them and support the boys as they integrate into society.
Meanwhile, Zambia Correctional Service Commissioner General calls on juveniles at the reformatory school to be ambassador of a crime-free Zambia.
We are proud of you, young men and women, as you get back in society. We want to appeal and ask you to be our ambassadors of a crime-free Zambia. As a service, we conceive juvenile justice as an integral part of the national development process, while offering a protective environment for the juveniles and contributing to maintenance of peace and order in our society. Once they are released, they can positively contribute to the economic development and subsequently reduce crime rates in our country.
Here at Katombora, so that they can
Meanwhile, European Union and various organizations have this
and reintegrated in their communities with success. Clearly, working with the graduates is one thing, but obviously we have to cover all the chain, not only the graduates, but also the correctional officers and the communities.
And we were able to improve the infrastructure here with the very aged ablutions that were built during colonial times, and now provide the school with this beautiful ablution block that we were handing over today.
First of all, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to the European Union who made this project possible. Without their support, none of these important programs such as vocational skills, counseling, education, support and family counseling, graduation would have been implemented and we would not been here. We would also like to thank UP Zambia for Unchikumbukire project that has been with us from the time we admitted to this day of graduation.
And Katombora Member of Parliament Clement Andaleki has donated food items to the society. Has been advised to render support as the young people will be integrated back in their various communities. Mijelo Mambo, Muvi TV News in Kazungula District.
You are still watching Muvi TV's Primetime News. We'll take a break. Stay tuned.
On the pitch of life, you've got to choose your game and who you play with. Your people. You get what I mean?
Oh, that is so true, Mr. Easy.
Because when you need a bit of support, there's the people you can count on. People who are there for you, no matter what.
Guess we are always here for them.
Choose who to play with.
With Bet Power, you can chat, message, or call real people round the clock. This advertisement is brought to you by Bet Power.
Where's Bob? Anyone seen Bob? Has anyone seen Bob? Bob? Bob! Bob!
Over here.
Where?
Over here.
How did you get in there?
With my Airtel Money MasterCard.
Airtel Money MasterCard? But you don't even have a bank account. How did you get a card?
Well, it's not a card, but it works just like one. It's virtual, so no plastic, and it's safer.
But what are you doing there?
I want to buy Nancy a birthday gift, book my flight tickets, renew my Big Click subscription, and order a shipment.
For all things online, the Airtel Money MasterCard. It's not a card, but works just like one. Get one on the Airtel Money menu on your phone.
Travel to and from South Africa with Rwanda Air as we offer 20% off discount for flights. Sales period between 25th January to 28th February. Buy your tickets now. Rwanda Air. Fly the dream of Africa.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit (DMMU) National Coordinator Dr. Pauline Gabriel has implored corporate entities and stakeholders to come in with donations to assist people affected by disasters in various parts of the country. Speaking during the donation of mealie meal by Sidco Zambia, Dr. Pauline says the 430 by 25 kilograms of mealie meal donated will go towards helping flood victims of Namwala Southern Province. He says a total of 7,020 households were affected by various flood situations around the country, of which 1,066 were displaced and required temporary shelter. He adds the victims of floods require humanitarian aid, which government alone cannot manage. And Chief Naluwamba, who was also present at the event, has commended government for the rapid response in dealing with the matter.
Zambia Limited has today donated 430 by 25 kg bags of mealie meal worth 100,000 kwacha to Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit to help the ongoing disasters in the country. The recent cyclone Anna storm, which has left a trail of destructions in many parts of the country, which has overwhelmed the DMMU to seek for private sector help. Speaking when he handed over the donation to DMMU, Sidco Board Chairman Mr. Chance Kawaye says the affected victims are part of the clients that obtained inputs from Sidco, hence the company cannot let them suffer.
Fully indebted to help your office, and in helping your office, we are helping the country, and especially those people who have been affected, to alleviate the burden that they are facing at this point in time. We have decided to bring in some 10 tons of mealie meal. And these 10 tons of mealie meal, we are not millers, so we had to go and buy. It cost us some 60,000 plus. So that's the first donation we're going to make. I would like, in the presence of the media, assure you, our coordinator, that we will also be donating seed at an appropriate time around October, so that those who are really affected, those who can identify, that's why also the chief is here, we should be able to give them some seed money for them to start now producing in a normal year.
Meanwhile, Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit DMMU National Coordinator Dr. Pauline Gabriel has called on other corporate companies and stakeholders to assist victims of floods with donations. He says a total of 7,020 households were affected by various flood situations around the country, which of 1,066 were displaced and required temporary shelter.
We also are aware around the country of certain communities that have been cut off due to wash away of critical crossing points. So the affected people would need to be taken care of. They have their primary livelihoods taken away from them due to the vagaries of the weather.
And Chief Naluamba, who was also present at the event, has commended government for the rapid response in dealing with the matter.
That actually have a need for the food, because some are okay and others are really in dire need. So we're going to identify those communities that are in dire need, and they will be the beneficiaries of this food that you're giving them. And the same will apply once you bring the seed as well. We look at the most vulnerable communities, working together with wings of government to make sure that they benefit from this generosity that we have provided for the people.
Tasila Zulu, reporting for Muvi TV News in Lusaka.
And Namalombe Ward Councillor Brighton Senazongwe has called on the Disaster Management and Mitigation Units DMMU to help people in his area. Mr. Senazongwe says the people in the area have suffered due to flooding. Meanwhile, residents talked to have accused the local investor of destroying the land where their homes are built due to blasting.
Water pollution, you get a water pollution because it's dirty with that.
The first thing, I've heard their cry. Now they should keep calm as we are taking this thing to the relevant authorities to help us. Especially, I would appeal to maybe the engineers to come and assess what is this problem or what is this structure which we are seeing here in Namalombe, so that they help us to understand it. Because we cannot have tunnels which comes from here, you have to surface, you go the other end, it disappears, again it resurfaces. You put in some materials, when rain comes, those things are washed away. Where it goes, we don't know. Maybe the engineers can come and help us to understand these things. Like the Engineering Institute of Zambia, they can send people to come and help us to understand these things. I think that's my appeal. The people should keep calm as we have heard what they want. My appeal, first DMMU, to come and assess this problem. If they see that this is really a disaster, they can advise us how they can help us with these families.
Napasa bazungutu bakumba nje balengeza banaenda down 120 meters kwenda pansi mikoti nakumba manzi atu asoba so namati libe manzi mukombo ni mlipo kaya bakansa batatutanza bwandi no manzi kulibe bantu bakuma manzi bataka kumisa manzi singa kwanze minizo nizikula manzi tu kwacha muntu bucket mabucket alitenza kula mabucket angati pede na kusamba namuna wasikuru na wamaivu chapa vuvana manyo manzi aminete singa konisa since tupeka boma kulinga na banale fulina bakansela bangani paishi abantu bovutika kuvutika kwa mutsi kuvutika kwa Zambia konse sini imya chipango ni imya pa moyo wa muntu asungiwa na boma kulinga na muntu mwena muntu no kutungiwa inambira problem ya kansa banabauza kuti kansa asazi banchito kansa banaita kamti wantu abantu banange na mailo ibintu banapita bya bana kudala si kuti ndiwe banali kuti antaba banati kwa piwa so msoko kampasa mwandu kuti yapezeke na mwandu wakuti tumopachike mwandu ibi wonta manyimbo ndo manga kansa kalipo ngina pa mpaka yote binamangi wa mazo so kutenga muntu kumupachika ntasana chitini si loja mtise kinompanga so aba tubafisa nje auti baambe kusebeza sopano tubafitisa mawenezo onanga banza vintu mami njame tuvandi amanyimba apo aninga kunyame tubafitisa nilandi yatubonisa umusinzo kala bino bantu imami tenzo yangani oni kambaso mapepa anga ku court ni nawo kuja judgment court mami tenzo
We go for a last set of commercials. I'll be right back. The Zambia Sports Funds Association, ZASPOFA, has written to State House requesting to be granted an opportunity to honor President Hakainde Hichilema with the organization's national regalia. ZASPOFA patron Peter McKimball says his organization has honored the late former head of state, Kenneth Kaunda, and the immediate president, Edgar Lungu. McKimball has since asked the State House Principal Private Secretary for a chance to present the sports supporters' attire to the president on a date and time convenient to the head of state. He has meanwhile praised the President Hichilema for demonstrating unwavering concern for youth and sports development. Makembo further saluted the New Dawn government for promoting sport in the country and uplifting the social and economic welfare of Zambians.
We are ready to go.
Yeah, as the motherboard of the sports in the country, we are very happy that to tell the nation that we have just delivered the letter to State House with an intention of honoring His Excellency, Republican President Hakainde Hichilema. You know, of the late, we have never invited to go to any sporting arena. Now, being the motherboard of the sports funds, we have found it so healthy that we make ourselves available to invite the president to find time in his busy schedule for us to go and honor him with our national regalia. And this national regalia, we have done so with our first Republican president, and even the previous vice president, Edgar Chagwarum. It is to honor the presidency, so that as we move on, we move with our national identity colors. Anywhere we go, people these days, they identify themselves with their national colors. And this attire is the attire that we are normally identified with. To avoid to see the president moving in with when he's invited by tennis, we put on a tennis.
We end the news on that note. A recap of the top stories. Bulldozer Imbwili reported to police. Bulldozer sympathizes with hungry and poverty-stricken UPND cadres. Lusaka scammer sentenced to 2 years once the proceeds of his art returned. UPND Alliance partner justifies New Dawn's bumpy road to employment creation. Soccer fans request to honor Bali. Thank you so much.